The search, recovery, and rebuilding of Lahaina is a team effort from the county to the state to the federal government to the community, everyone coming together.
A congressional delegation, including lawmakers from across the country, visited Lahaina this week to better understand the devastation and learn how they can help. KITV4's Aalii Dukelow joins us now live from Wailuku, Maui, and is with Hawaii's U.S. Senator Brian Schatz.
Yeah, Mika, that's right. I'm here with Senator Brian Schatz. Senator, thank you for joining us today. What were you folks able to see as a delegation, and what's your reaction?
Well, yesterday was an important day because it was the first bipartisan group of lawmakers from the continental United States to come and see the damage. It was 6 Democrats and 6 Republicans, including the chair of the Natural Resources Committee. And, I think they got the scope of the full devastation. And, some of these members I knew from a long time, but some of them I didn't. And I can tell you, I didn't even know which party anyone belonged to. The new ones, because the sense was that, this is a shared responsibility. And so I'm hoping to take that up to Washington. We're going back into session next week. And, we have to stay in a mindset where Democrats and Republicans always disagree about things. But the one thing we can't disagree about is that when a tragedy befalls a community like this, we all have to have their back.
Okay, speaking to that, are you facing perhaps any pushback from Republicans at all when it comes to funding?
Not yet, but I anticipate that we'll have some difficulty with some of the more conservative members of the Republican caucus in the House. But listen, Speaker McCarthy is likely on his way this weekend to the island of Maui. We had the chairman of the Natural Resources Committee, and I'm going to take them at their word that they care about Maui and that we can disagree about whatever we need to disagree about. But the one thing that we really understand is that Lahaina was flattened, and this is not a short-term disaster. This is going to be a long-term recovery in terms of mental health and facilities and infrastructure and the ocean and the schools and the federally qualified community health center. There's just so much to do, and the federal government is going to have to step up and provide the resources to help Maui to recovery.
Of course, you and your office detailing how you folks are able to help with recovery efforts. Can you provide any updates, or are there any perhaps big bullet points that you'd like to point out?
Well, I think the most important thing that we need to do in the very, very, very short run is there is this federally qualified community health center that burned down. And so Kaiser and HPH and Queens are all out there in West Maui trying to provide services, but they don't have a permanent facility. So we're going to try to work to find them a permanent facility, and whether it's federal or state or nonprofit funds, they got to have a location. They can't be providing services like in the Hyatt Kaanapali. Right now that works, but that's no permanent solution for folks who need health care. And it's not just emergency care, it's routine stuff, it's prescriptions and the like. They need to get their primary care in a way that makes sense, and that's not in a ballroom or in a hotel room.
Of course, healthcare, a big topic on everyone's mind right now. Also, education. Some parents are concerned that they want their kids to stay out on the west side, but their children might have to be shuttled or bused to schools on other sides. Is there anything at all that you folks could do to maybe help these kids stay out in Lahaina?
Well, we're going to do everything we can to get kids back in school, and by school I mean physical school. I do not mean online school. Online school works for some kids, but I think the COVID experience taught us that by and large it is not a substitute for having a physical location in the community where kids can learn and socialize and have a life. And so I'm working with the superintendent to try to get them to open as quickly as possible. But they got to check the facilities, right? There is potential fire damage, and so they have to do soil samples and water quality and structural engineering. We obviously don't want anyone to enter those facilities until they have been confirmed to be safe. So that process is underway, and I'm hoping those schools can be reopened as soon as possible. Obviously, the elementary school on Front Street is gone, and that's going to take a longer time to repair and rebuild. And those kids need to go to school somewhere, and in the meantime, they're going to be transported to other parts of the island.
All right, thank you so much again, Senator.
Thank you.
Mika and Marissa, back to you.